His hand slammed against the wall beside my face, trapping me. Min Jae's breath was ragged, his usually cold eyes burning with something I'd never seen before. You let him touch you. His voice was deadly quiet. You smiled at him like you wanted him to. For 18 months, this man hadn't laid a finger on me, treated me like expensive furniture in his penthouse. Now his face was inches from mine, jaw clenched, and I could see a vein pulsing in his neck. I'm your husband, Amara. The way he said my name, like he was tasting it for the first time, sent shivers down my spine. Mine, not his. I should have been scared. He was a mafia boss, after all. But all I felt was my heart hammering against my ribs as his gaze dropped to my lips. Welcome to Afro-Korean Love Stories. If you're loving this story, hit that like button and subscribe, because what you're about to watch would leave you speechless. Tell me in the comments which city you're watching from. I'd really love to know. Now, let's dive into it. Let me take you back to where this all started, to the moment I became Mrs. Kang Min-jae without ever being his wife. The hotel ballroom glittered with crystal chandeliers and fake smiles. I was there translating for my father, the Nigerian ambassador, when I first saw him. Kang Min-jae. Even across a crowded room, he commanded attention. Not just because he was devastatingly handsome in that sharp black suit. It was the way people moved around him, like he was the sun and they were planets caught in his orbit. Our eyes met, just for a second. Then he looked away like I didn't exist. I should have known then what kind of man he was. 3 weeks later, my father sat me down in his study. His hands were shaking. Amara, I need you to trust me. That's when I learned about the debts. The gambling. The men my father owed money to. Men who didn't accept excuses. There's a way out, he said, not meeting my eyes. The Kang family. They need legitimacy. International connections. My stomach dropped. You want me to marry a stranger? He's agreed to clear everything. But only if. He finally looked at me. Only if you say yes. I was 26 years old. I had a photography business I loved. Friends. Dreams of traveling the world on my own terms. But I saw the fear in my father's eyes. The shame. So I said yes. The wedding was beautiful and empty. Min Jae stood beside me in a custom tuxedo, his expression carved from ice. When the officiant said, "You may kiss the bride," he pressed his lips to my cheek for exactly 1 second. Clinical. Distant. That night, in our penthouse, he laid out the rules. You'll have your own wing. I have mine. We attend events together when necessary. In public, we're the perfect couple. In private, we're strangers. His dark eyes were unreadable. I don't do love, Amara. I don't do affection. This is business. What if I want more? I don't know why I asked. Maybe because his coldness made me want to crack it. He almost smiled. Almost. Then you married the wrong man. For 18 months, that's exactly how we lived. I'd wake up in my designer bedroom, eat breakfast alone in a kitchen bigger than my old apartment, and pretend my heart didn't sink every time I heard his footsteps walking past my door. He kept his word. Gave me everything except himself. Black cards with no limits. A driver. Access to Seoul's most exclusive circles. I was the mafia boss's wife, living in a golden prison. I told myself I didn't care. Built my own life. Learned Korean from dramas and patient tutors. Made friends at the gym, at galleries. Threw myself into photography. But late at night, I'd hear him come home. Hear the shower running in his wing. Wonder what it would feel like if he looked at me the way he looked at his empire. With passion. With fire. I hated wanting something from a man who'd made it clear I was just a contract. Then Jae-sung happened. I met him at a coffee shop in Itaewon. I'd been photographing street scenes when he approached, all charming smiles and easy confidence. You have an artist's eye, he said in perfect English. I'm Jae-sung. We talked for hours. He asked about my work, my life before Korea, my dreams. Treated me like I was fascinating instead of invisible. I didn't tell him I was married. Not at first. When I finally did, his expression shifted. Kang Min-jae's wife. Something flickered in his eyes. How interesting. I should have walked away then. But I didn't walk away. Because Jae-sung kept showing up. At the gallery where I exhibited my photos. At the cafe where I edited on my laptop. Always with that easy smile, always making me feel seen. Your husband doesn't appreciate what he has, he said one afternoon, his hand covering mine across the table. I pulled away. It's complicated. It's simple.
His eyes held mine.
You're extraordinary, Amara. And he treats you like you're not even there. The worst part? He was right. That evening, I came home to find Min Jae in the living room.
Rare.
He was usually locked in his office or gone entirely. He looked up from his phone, his expression unreadable. You're late. I didn't know I had a curfew. He stood. Even after all this time, his presence made the room feel smaller. Where were you? Does it matter? Something flashed across his face. Too quick to name. You're my wife. On paper. The words came out sharper than I intended. In every way that actually matters, I'm nothing to you. For a moment, I thought he might say something. His jaw worked like he was grinding words between his teeth. Then his phone rang. He glanced at it. I have business. And just like that, he was gone. I started seeing Jae-sung more. Coffee turned into lunch. Lunch turned into gallery visits. He made me laugh. Made me forget I was trapped in a loveless arrangement. Leave him. Jae-sung whispered one evening as we watched the sunset from Namsan Tower. You deserve someone who sees you. It's not that simple. My father. I can protect your father. His voice was intense. I have resources. Connections. You don't have to stay in a marriage that's killing you. I wanted to believe him.
God, I wanted to.
But something in my gut whispered that this was too easy.
Too convenient.
The next week, Min Jae came home early. I was in the kitchen, still dressed from my afternoon with Jae-sung, a sundress that actually made me feel beautiful. Min Jae stopped in the doorway. His eyes traveled over me slowly. Too slowly. You look different. My pulse jumped. Different how? Like you're dressing for someone. The accusation hung between us. I lifted my chin. What if I am? His expression went blank. That terrifying emptiness he showed his enemies. Be careful, Amara. Seoul isn't as safe as you think. Is that a threat? It's a warning. He moved closer. Close enough that I could smell his cologne. Something expensive and devastating. You're mine. The contract says so. The contract. I laughed, but it sounded broken. That's all I am to you, isn't it? A signature on paper. His jaw clenched. For a second, just a second, I saw something crack in that ice. Then it was gone. What else did you expect? Everything changed the night of the charity gala. Min Jae and I attended together, playing our roles perfectly. His hand on my lower back. My smile bright and empty. The perfect power couple. Then Jae-sung walked in. I felt Min Jae go rigid beside me. You know him? I asked. Everyone knows him. His voice was deadly quiet. Park Jae-sung. My biggest rival. My blood went cold.
What?
He runs the South Side operations. We've been at war for 3 years. His eyes met mine, and for the first time, I saw real emotion there. Betrayal. How long? Min Jae, I didn't. How?
Long.
His grip on my waist tightened. Not painful, but possessive. 2 months. But I didn't know who he was. I swear. Jae-sung appeared beside us, that familiar charming smile in place.
Min Jae.
Beautiful evening.
He turned to me. Amara.
You look stunning. The way he said my name, intimate, familiar, made Min Jae's entire body go tense. Stay away from my wife. Jae-sung's smile widened. Does she know she's your wife? Because from what I hear, you keep her at arm's length. Maybe she needs someone who actually wants her. I saw it happen in slow motion. Min Jae's fist connecting with Jae-sung's jaw. The crowd gasping. Security rushing forward. And Min Jae's eyes, blazing with something wild and uncontrolled, locked on mine. We're leaving. He grabbed my hand. Not gentle. Not rough.
Desperate. Now.
The car ride home was suffocating silence. His driver kept his eyes forward while Min Jae stared out the window, his hand still gripping mine like he was afraid I'd disappear. When we got to the penthouse, he finally spoke. Inside.
Now.
His voice was gravel and smoke. This was it. The moment everything shattered or came together.
I didn't know which terrified me more.
Do you think Min Jae is about to confess or explode? Drop your guess in the comments right now. And if you're feeling this tension, hit that like button, because it's about to get even more intense. The penthouse door slammed behind us. Min Jae stood there, chest heaving, his perfectly styled hair falling into his eyes. For 18 months, he'd been controlled, calculated, cold. Now he looked like a man coming apart at the seams. Did you sleep with him? His voice cracked on the question.
No.
I stepped closer. But would you even care if I did? Care? He laughed, but it was harsh. Broken. I haven't slept in weeks. I come home and hear you laughing on the phone. See you dressed up, smiling like you never smile at me. And you ask if I'd care? You told me this was business. My voice shook. You made the rules, Min Jae. You pushed me away from day one. Because I'm a monster. The words exploded out of him. Because everything I touch gets destroyed. Because you're good, Amara. You're light and art and dreams, and I'm blood and violence and darkness. He turned away, running his hands through his hair. I thought if I kept my distance, you'd stay clean. Stay safe. My heart hammered against my ribs. Safe from what? From me. He faced me again and I saw it. Finally saw it. The want. The need. The 18 months of restraint carved into every line of his face. From wanting you so badly, I can barely breathe. From lying awake knowing you're 20 feet away and I can't touch you because if I start, I won't stop. The air between us crackled. Then don't stop. His eyes went dark. Amara, I'm tired of being nothing to you. I closed the distance between us. I'm tired of pretending I don't wait for the sound of your footsteps. That I don't wonder what your hands would feel like. That I don't. His mouth crashed into mine.
Desperate.
Hungry. 18 months of denial in one kiss. His hands framed my face like I was something precious and breakable, even as he kissed me like he was drowning and I was air. I melted into him, my fingers clutching his shirt, pulling him closer. This was what I'd been starving for. When we broke apart, we were both breathing hard. He planned it. Min Jae said against my lips. Jae-sung. He knew exactly who you were. He's been trying to destroy me for years, and he found the perfect weapon. You. The words should have hurt. Instead, they made me angry. So what? I'm just a pawn in your war?
No.
He pressed his forehead to mine. You're everything. That's the problem. That's why it worked. He saw what I was trying to hide. That I'm completely, desperately in love with my own wife. The world tilted. What did you say? I love you. His voice was raw.
Honest.
I've loved you since the wedding. Since I saw you walk down that aisle looking terrified and beautiful, and I knew I'd ruin you. I married you to save your father, but I fell in love with you watching you build a life despite me. Your strength. Your art. The way you learned Korean by watching dramas. How you hum when you cook. The sound of your laugh that I only heard through walls because I was too much of a coward to. I kissed him. Cut off his words with my mouth because I couldn't stand another second of distance. This kiss was different.
Slower. Deeper.
A promise. When we pulled apart, I was crying. You're an idiot. I know. 18 months. You wasted 18 months. I know. He wiped my tears with his thumbs. I'll spend the rest of my life making up for it. If you'll let me. I should say no. I traced his jawline, feeling him shudder under my touch. I should make you suffer. Please do. His smile was devastating.
Real.
I deserve it. You deserve worse. But I was smiling too. You ignored me, walked past me like I was invisible, made me feel. I know. He pulled me closer. I know, and I'm sorry. God, Amara, I'm so sorry. I thought I was protecting you, but I was just a coward. Afraid that if you saw the real me, you'd run. The real you? The man who would burn soul to the ground for you. Who almost killed Jae-sung tonight for touching your hand. Who's been in love with you so long he forgot what peace felt like. I looked up at this beautiful, broken man who was supposed to be my husband only on paper. Show me. Show you what? The real you. I traced his lips with my finger. No more distance. No more walls. Show me who Kong Min-jae really is when he's not pretending. Something fierce and tender crossed his face. You might not like what you find. Try me. He lifted me effortlessly, and I wrapped my legs around his waist. Your wing or mine? I whispered against his neck. Ours. He carried me toward his bedroom. Our bedroom now. From now on, everything is ours. I woke up wrapped in Min-jae's arms, his heartbeat steady beneath my ear. Morning light filtered through the curtains, painting everything gold. For the first time in 18 months, I felt like I was home. He was already awake, watching me with an intensity that made my breath catch. Hi, I whispered. Hi. His voice was rough with sleep. His fingers traced patterns on my bare shoulder. I need to tell you something. My stomach tightened. What? Jae-sung isn't finished. Last night was just the opening move. He sat up, pulling me with him, keeping me close. He wanted me to see you together. Wanted me to lose control. Now he knows my weakness. Me. You. He pressed a kiss to my temple. The war just got personal, Amara. And he plays dirty. So, what do? We fight. His jaw set in that dangerous way I'd seen from across rooms at events. But I need you to trust me. Really trust me.
Can you do that?
I thought about the past 18 months. The loneliness. The confusion. But I also thought about last night. The truth in his eyes. The vulnerability. Yes. Relief flooded his face. There's more you need to know. About why your father owed money in the first place. My blood went cold. What do you mean? Jae-sung set it up. The gambling debts. The pressure. All of it. Min-jae's voice hardened. He knew my family needed diplomatic connections. Knew I'd agree to an arranged marriage. He orchestrated everything so he could plant someone close to me. He just didn't count on what? On you being you. On me actually falling in love. He cupped my face. He thought you'd be miserable. Thought you'd run to him willingly. But you built a life. Stayed strong. And I fell harder every single day watching you refuse to break. Anger surged through me. My father almost lost everything because of their war?
Yes.
And I knew from the beginning. The admission hung between us. I used your father's situation to get what my family needed. I'm not innocent in this, Amara. I'm exactly the monster I said I was. I should have been furious. Should have pushed him away. But all I felt was a strange clarity. You saved my father. I used him. Used you. You gave me a choice. I held his gaze. You could have told me about Jae-sung's involvement. Could have made me hate him from the start. But you let me make my own decisions. Even when it killed you. His throat worked. You're too good for me. Probably. I kissed him softly. But you're stuck with me now. The next few days were a blur of strategy and revelation. Min-jae's world, our world now, opened up completely. I sat in on meetings with his inner circle, learned the truth about his operations. Not just violence and crime, but protection, community support, the gray areas where good men did questionable things for the right reasons. You're not what I expected, I told him one evening. We were in his office, me curled in the chair across from his desk while he worked. He looked up, eyebrow raised. What did you expect? A villain. Someone cold and cruel. I smiled. But you're just a man who loves his city, his people, who takes care of families when the system fails them. Don't romanticize it. But his voice was soft. I've done terrible things, Amara. Hurt people. Made choices that keep me up at night. I know. I moved to sit on his desk. I'm not naive. But I also see the kids you send to university, the businesses you protect, the women you help escape bad situations. You're complicated, Kong Min-jae, but you're not a monster. He pulled me into his lap. You make me want to be better. Good. I wrapped my arms around his neck. Because I'm planning to keep you around for a very long time. But Jae-sung wasn't done. The attack came on a Tuesday. I was at a gallery opening, my own exhibition finally, showcasing photos of Seoul's hidden beauty. Min-jae was supposed to meet me there, but business held him up. I was talking to a curator when I felt it, eyes on me. I turned, scanning the crowd. That's when I saw him. Jae-sung, leaning against the far wall, watching me with that same charming smile that once made me feel special. Now it just made my skin crawl. He pushed off the wall, moving toward me. I reached for my phone, but he was faster. Don't.
His voice was low.
Pleasant. I just want to talk. Outside. Alone. Or everyone in this gallery becomes collateral damage. My heart hammered. You wouldn't. Try me. His smile never wavered. Your choice, Samara. You or them. I looked at the people around me. Artists.
Friends.
Innocent. Okay. I kept my voice steady. Let's talk. The moment we stepped outside, everything went dark. Wait, did Amara just make the biggest mistake of her life? Comment below if you think she survives this. And don't you dare click away now because what happens next will blow your mind. Stay with me. I woke up in a warehouse.
Typical.
My head throbbed, and my wrists were zip-tied to a metal chair. Jae-sung sat across from me, looking relaxed, almost bored. You're awake. Good. He checked his watch. Min-jae should be getting my message right about now. He'll kill you. My voice came out stronger than I felt. Probably. Jae-sung shrugged. But it'll be worth it. Do you know how long I've waited to destroy him?
Years.
And then you appeared. Beautiful, lonely, desperate for affection. The perfect weakness. I was never your weapon.
No.
His smile faded. That's what made it worse. You actually fell for him. The cold bastard who ignored you for 18 months, and somehow you still chose him over me. Over someone who actually saw you from the start. You didn't see me. I held his gaze. You saw an opportunity. There's a difference. Before he could respond, the warehouse door exploded inward. Min-jae walked through the smoke and debris like an avenging angel. His men flanked him, armed and lethal. But it was Min-jae's face that made my breath catch, raw fury barely contained. Let her go. His voice was death itself. Jae-sung stood, pulling a gun. He pressed it to my temple. Or what? You'll shoot through her to get to me? If I have to.
Min-jae's eyes met mine.
But I won't have to. Because my wife is stronger than you think. He was right. The self-defense classes I'd taken in secret. The knife Min-jae's head of security had taught me to hide. The strength I'd built refusing to be a victim. I moved fast. Dropped my weight, twisted, felt the zip tie snap against the blade I'd worked free. The gun went off.
Missed.
And then Min-jae was there. Brutal and efficient. It was over in seconds. Jae-sung on the ground. Min-jae's knee on his chest, gun pressed to his forehead. Give me one reason, Min-jae growled. One reason I shouldn't end this now. Min-jae. I touched his shoulder. Don't. He's not worth it. He took you. His voice cracked. He put his hands on you. Threatened you. And I'm fine. I'm here. I knelt beside him. But if you do this, you become what he says you are. What you're afraid of being. Our eyes met. In his, I saw the war between vengeance and love.
Finally, he pulled back.
Stood. Pulled me into his arms so tightly, I could barely breathe. Take him, he ordered his men. Let the police handle it. We have enough evidence to put him away for life. As they dragged Jae-sung away, Min-jae buried his face in my neck. I almost lost you. But you didn't. I pulled back to look at him. We're okay. We're going to be okay. 2 months later, I stood in truly our now, bedroom, watching the sunset paint Seoul in shades of gold and pink. Arms wrapped around me from behind. Min-jae's chin rested on my shoulder. What are you thinking? He murmured. That I never imagined this. Any of this. I leaned back into him. 18 months ago, I was so lonely. So invisible. And now. Now I'm married to a man who looks at me like I hung the moon. Who leaves notes in my camera bag. Who learned to cook Nigerian food just to surprise me. Who holds me every night like I might disappear. I turned in his arms. How did we get here? You refused to settle. He tucked my hair behind my ear. You demanded more. From me. From life. You're the bravest person I know, Amara. I'm terrified half the time. Brave isn't fearless. It's being scared and doing it anyway. He kissed me softly. Like marrying a stranger. Like staying when you could have run. Like choosing me even after everything. Easiest choice I ever made. Liar. But he was smiling. That real smile I'd fought so hard to earn. I love you. I know. I grinned. You tell me about 50 times a day now. Making up for lost time. His expression grew serious. I wasted 18 months. I'll never forgive myself for that. Then don't. I traced his jaw. Just love me better every day. That's all I want.
Deal.
He kissed me like he meant it. Like he'd keep meaning it for the rest of our lives. Later, as we lay tangled together, he whispered, "Thank you." For what? For seeing past the monster. For being patient when I was stupid. For loving me anyway. I pressed my palm over his heart. Thank you for finally touching me. For letting jealousy wake you up. For being brave enough to love me back. Always, he promised. For the rest of our lives, Amara. You and me. You and me, I echoed. Outside, Seoul sparkled with a million lights. Inside, I'd finally found home. Not in a place, but in the arms of a man who needed jealousy to wake him up, but who'd never sleep on us again. My husband. My love.
Mine.
So what did you think? Did Min-jae's transformation give you butterflies? Or were you screaming at Amara during those coffee dates with Jae-sung? Drop a comment and let me know. I want to hear your take on this forbidden love story. And if you made it this far, you're officially part of the Afro-Korean Love Stories family. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because trust me, the next story is even more intense. Someone's about to fall for their bodyguard, and let's just say, boundaries don't exist when passion takes over. I'll see you there. Now go ahead and binge our playlist. You know you want to.